Anglers often fall into one of two categories, ones that use scent and ones that don't. Now, I have always found myself in the latter category, but not because I necessarily had an opinion one way or the other. It was just more or less I didn't want to take the time to apply it. Well, I've started to do some more experimenting with scent to see how it may or may not be a benefit.
That doesn't take long.
Science has shown that bass, along with lots of fish, have a very accurate and acute sense of smell. So the first thing I did was take some time-lapse footage of some lures with scent on them and then left them down there for about an hour to an hour and a half. First, I used this setup right here. This is a rig my buddy John made me. The lures hang down. These arms with the flotation on them add a little action to them, and the camera mount is down there where we can see what is going on. Now, these are a couple of tubes that are fused together. This one on the right has the scent applied to it, and the one on the left has nothing. I used Berkley's Bass Attractant. I don't like oil-based scents because the oil rises to the surface, and with all the research that Dr. Keith Jones has done, I felt that this would be a good way to start. Now, the time-lapse footage shows us not much going on with this first test. There was a bass in the distance and then a really small bass up close, but not much else was going on. Were they attracted to the area because of the scent dispersing and then left because the lures dangling here didn't visually match what would look appealing to eat? I'm not real sure. Next, I ran the test again, but with a couple of hollow body tubes that are bigger. I squeezed the scent into the body of the tube, hoping for it to last longer. Once again, the lure on the right has the scent, the one on the left doesn't. Now, in this time-lapse footage, there are a lot, and I mean a lot of fish in the area, multiple species as well. But when I freeze frame the footage in a few places, there are moments where there were bass right on top of the lures, but I never got any footage of fish actually pecking away at the bait with the scent, which is what I was hoping for. Once again, did the scent attract the fish and they came to investigate and the lure didn't look alive, so they ignored it? Well, the third time I ran this test, I used a couple of small plastic containers and put some craw cane in one and then soaked some cotton balls with the bass attractant in the other one. And once again, left it for about an hour to an hour and a half. I drilled holes in the containers so the scent would disperse. Now, there were a couple of bluegills that came right up to it, but that could have been pure curiosity at these strange looking objects in the water. But either way, this was the best images I got of maybe something coming right up to the scent. But once again, there was a lot of life, and I mean a lot of life, that went by this test rig. Now, I know that none of us are going to leave our lure sitting in one spot for an hour. So to think of scent as an actual attractant may be the wrong approach, since it takes a long time for scent to disperse within the water column. It's not a clear path or very distinct scent trail like hunters may use in the deer woods when dragging something like a scent rag. I went out for a bit and soaked my wacky rig in the scent every 10 to 15 casts to see if adding scent to a lure that actually looked lifelike and hoping for a stronger bite reaction once they tasted the lure was a better judge of whether or not scent was something I wanted to start using more. Well, it didn't take long and I started to catch a few small bass, and I can honestly say that each one of them took the lure deeper and held on to it. In other words, the bites were solid, not just tinkering around with the lure, but once they saw the bait, came to investigate and tasted it, their taste response must have gotten a positive signal because they took it really well. Now, I'm trying to figure out some different ways to keep testing this, but I definitely think that I need to quit being so lazy and add some scent to my fishing lures when out there. I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this. And hey, if you want to watch a video that goes over different noises and different sounds that boats make when we are in them, including something like sonar, go ahead and check this video out right here, and make sure that you go ahead and encourage someone today. You never know how you might just change their life. For the Bass Fishing Life, I'm your host, Steve Rogers.